Children, today we'll discuss last topic of chapter number 2, that is units and measurements, and the topic is dimensional analysis and its application. So let us see dimensional analysis and its application. Dimensional analysis is a tool to find or check relation among physical quantity by using the dimensions. When magnitude of two or more physical quantities are multiplied, their units should be treated in the same manner as ordinary algebraic symbols. We can cancel identical units in the numerator as well as denominator. Similarly, physical quantities represented by symbols on both sides of a mathematical equation must have the same dimension. So how can we use the dimensional analysis? What are the uses of dimensional analysis? The number one use, it is used to check the dimensional consistency of equations, that is called principle of homogeneity of dimensions. Number two, to convert units in one system into another system. And number three, one by one we'll discuss just after all these. And number three, to derive the relation between physical quantities based on certain reasonable assumptions. So the third point is very important, and as per point number 3, so many questions is to be asked in the examination. So the third use is so important, and you are supposed to remember the third use. Let us see first use, checking the dimensional consistency of equation, the principle of homogeneity of dimensions. The magnitude of physical quantities may be added together or subtracted from one another only if they have the same dimensions. So please remember it. If the quantity have the same dimensions, then only that quantity may be subtracted or may be added together. For example, initial velocity can be added to or subtracted from final velocity because they have the same dimensional formula, that is mlt raised to the power of minus 1, m power 0 lt raised to the power of minus 1, or you may say lt inverse. But force and momentum cannot be added because their dimensional formulae are different, and the dimensional formula of force is mlt raised to the power of minus 2, but the dimensional formula of momentum is only mlt inverse respectively. So, example number 1, to check the dimensional consistency of v square is equals to u square plus 2s. This is the third equation of motion. And children, I hope you all are familiar about this equation, that is v square is equals to u square plus 2s. The dimensions of quantity involved in the equations, v is equals to lt inverse, u is equals to m power 0 lt inverse, and a, that is acceleration, is m power 0 lt power minus 2, and s, that is distance, is mg power 0 lt power 0. Subtracting the dimensions in the given equation, we get, substituting the dimensions on both sides of the given equation, that is v square equals to u square plus 2s, we will get this, and finally we will get the L square t raised to the power of minus 2 in RHS, and in LHS L square t raised to the power of minus 2 plus L square t raised to the power of minus 2. Note that the constant 2 in the term 2as does not have dimension. Listen children, the numerals have no dimensions, so please remember it. In 2as you have to write only the dimensional formula of acceleration, that is a, as well as displacement, that is s. Each term of the given equation is having same dimensional formula, therefore the given equation is dimensionally correct or dimensionally consistent. Means here the dimensions of both LHS and RHS is same, which shows that the given equation, that is v square equals to u square plus 2as, is correct. Now see, note, if an equation fails the consistency test, it is proved wrong, but if it is passes, it is not proved right. Thus, a dimensionally correct equation need not be actually an exact equation, but a dimensionally wrong, incorrect, or inconsistent equations must be wrong. For example, equation v square equals to u square minus 2as or v square equals to u square plus half as are dimensionally consistent but are incorrect equation in mechanics. So this is one of the limitations, you may say. Albert Einstein tried his famous mass energy equivalence as E equals to m upon c square, E equals to m square upon c, and E is equals to m square c, etc. Finally, he settled with E is equals to mc square. That is the very versatile equation that is called mass energy equation proposed by Albert Einstein using dimensions, and they proved it with the help of calculus. So second point, to check the dimensional consistency of half mv square is equals to mg. The dimensions of quantities involved in the equation half mv square is equals to mbh. Half mv square is potential kinetic energy and mgh is a potential energy. So both are the energies. So if the dimensions of both the sides are equal, then we can say that half mv square equals to mgh are consistent. When we substitute the dimensions of both sides, we get, here you have to note that the constant half in the term half mv square does not have the dimension. Substituting the dimensions in the given equation, we get ml square t raised to the power of minus 2 is equals to ml square t raised to the power of minus 2. Here each term of the above equation is having same dimension in both the sides. The dimensions are same, therefore the equation is dimensionally correct or dimensionally consistent. So second point C, second user, conversion of units in one system into another system. Suppose the unit is given in one system, that is in meter, and you have to convert it into centimeter. Then we can also use the dimensional analysis. Units are derived from the dimensions, and dimensions are derived from the actual formula of the physical quantity. If the dimensions are known for a physical quantity, then it is easy to express it in FPS, CGS, MKS, SI system, or any other arbitrarily chosen system. Like for example, here N1 and N2 are the magnitudes in the respective system of units. Smaller the unit, bigger the magnitude of physical quantity, and vice versa. For example, 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeter. Here meter is the bigger unit compared to centimeter in this, but centimeter is the smaller one, you may say. 1 Newton is equals to 10 raised to the power of 5 dynes. Here dyne is the CGS unit of force and Newton is the MKS unit of force. So Newton is bigger than dyne. So this is the conversion. So for example, to convert 1 joule into erg, joule is unit of energy or work in a SI system, and erg is the unit of same physical quantity, that is energy, in CGS system. The dimensional formula of energy or work is ml square t raised to the power of minus 2. You all are familiar how the dimensional formula of work or energy is ml square t raised to the power of minus 2. आपने निकाला है बेटा इसको. The units from dimensions in SI or C and CGS system are kg meter square per centimeter square or gram centimeter square per second square respectively. So let N1 joule is equals to N2 erg. So let us see, mass is 1 kg equals to 1000 gram, 1 meter equals to 100 centimeter, and second is second, so it doesn't matter. So finally we'll get 1 joule is equals to 10 raised to the power of minus 7 erg. So 1 joule, which is in SI system, can be converted into CGS system, that is equals to 10 raised to the power of 7 erg. In the same way, you have to convert 1 Newton into a system where mass is measured in milligram, length in kilometer, and time in minute. So you can convert 1 Newton is equals to 3.6 into 10 raised to the power of 6 milligram kilometer minute power minus 2. So the same way you can able to understand. So let us see next. Deducing relation among the physical quantity. The methods of dimensions can sometimes be, this is the third use of dimensional analysis. The method of dimensions, that is very important. The method of dimensions can sometimes be used to deduce relation among the physical quantities. Suppose more than one physical quantities are given and one physical quantity is varying with respect to two or more physical quantity, then with the help of dimensional analysis we can able to find out the relations among those physical quantities, and we can establish a formula with the help of dimensional analysis. For this we should know the dependence of the physical quantity on other quantities. Up to 3 physical quantities are linearly independent variables. The condition consider it as a product type of dependence. Example, consider a simple pendulum having a bob attached to a string that oscillates under consider it as a product type of the dependence. For example, consider a simple pendulum having a bob attached to a string that oscillates under the action of the force of gravity. Suppose that the period of oscillation of the simple pendulum, that is time period, depends on number 1 length of the string, number 2 mass of the bob, and number 3 acceleration due to gravity small g. So you have to derive the expression for its time period using method of dimension. See, time period depends upon 3 physical quantity. Number 1 length of the string, number 2 mass of the bob, number 3 acceleration due to gravity as per the given question. So you have to deduce the formula, deduce the relation among all these physical quantities. So first of all we have to take the dependent quantity, that is here time period is dependent on which physical quantities, that is length, small g and small m. As a product may be written as T is equals to K L power x, m power y, g power z, where K is a dimensionless constant, x, y and z are the exponent. Now what we'll do, we have to the dimensions of quantity involved in the equation are m, l, g and t. First of all we have to write the dimensions of all the physical quantity in both the sides. We will get, finally we will get this expression, this expression, that is m power 0 l power 0 t is equals to m power y l power x plus z t power minus 2z. On equating the dimensions on both sides we will get y equals to 0, x plus z is equals to 0 and minus 2z is equals to 1, so that we can write x is equals to, see, z is equals to minus 1 by 2, and then we'll get x is equals to 1 by 2, y is equals to 0. On substituting the value of x, y and z, we'll get t is equals to k l power, here m power y is 0, m power 0 means 1. So finally we'll get t is equals to k el power 1 by 2, g power minus 1 by 2. The g power minus 1 by 2 can be written as in denominator. So if we'll get t is equals to k el power 1 by 2 upon g power 1 by 2. 1 by 2 can be written as under root. So t is equals to k and root l upon g. That is the value of here experimentally it has been observed that the value of constant k is equals to 2 pi. So finally we'll get the expression of time period of simple pendulum, that is t is equals to 2 pi root l by g. So these all are the uses. So there are basically 3 uses of dimensional analysis. Now children, there are so many limitations of dimensional analysis. There are some of them are given below. So these are the demerits, you may say. These are the demerits of dimensional analysis. You may say limitations of dimensional analysis. The dimensional analysis cannot be used in the following cases. Number one, the value of constant in an equation cannot be determined as the constant do not have dimensions. See, in previous formula, that is t is equals to k root l upon g, dimensional analysis cannot be calculated to find out the value of k. Here experimentally the value of k is 2 pi. So but dimensional analysis है k की वैल्यू, दैट इज कांस्टेंट की वैल्यू को फाइंड नहीं कर सकता है. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द लिमिटेशंस ऑफ डायमेंशनल एनालिसिस. See the second limitations, only dimensional consistency and not the physical consistency can be tested. Number 3, dimensions can be found from the physical quantity, but physical quantity cannot be always guessed from dimensional because two or more quantity may have the same dimensions. There are so many quantities which have same dimensions like kinetic energy, work, potential energy. So many quantities are there which has same dimensions. So number 3, yes, it is over. Number 4, the equation containing the dependency on more than 3 quantities cannot be determined using only m, l and t. Note that if 4 independent quantities are involved, then 4 variables and hence 4 simultaneous equations are required. Hence there must be 4 fundamental dimensions. Number 5, the equation containing exponent, trigonometric, logarithmic function etc. cannot be derived as they do not have dimensions. The dimensions of trigonometric ratios, logarithmic functions like exponents do not have dimensions, so they cannot be derived from dimensional analysis. Number 6, the equation having the relations other than product quotient cannot be derived. See, there are some physical quantities and its formula as well as its dimensional formula and units are given in this representation, and you are supposed to remember all these physical quantity with respect to its formula, dimensions as well as units. So these are the some one in general, and some one are related to mechanics like speed, velocity, velocity gradient, force, momentum, impulse, and next one is related to gravitations, that is gravitational potential, universal gravitational constant, intensity of gravitational field, and some physical quantities are also related to mechanics, the pressure, power, energy, density, work, energy. So many physical quantities, their dimensions, their units, their formulas are given, and you are supposed to memorize. Some of them are related to rotational motion, so please remember it and note down all these in your notebook. And some are related to properties of matter, that is stress, strain, modulus of elasticity, bulk modulus, compressibility, Poisson's ratio, surface tension, surface energy, coefficient of viscosity. You will study all these one by one. You have to study all these physical quantities one by one, but here at a glance you can able to recall the dimensional formula and its formula and its symbol respectively. Some of them are related to heat energy, and then after also related to heat, and then related to related to which physical quantity, do you know? This is electricity. Yes, that electric current, resistance, electric conductance, electric capacitance, etc., etc. And some of them are related to magnetism. You will study magnetism and matter in class 12th. So these all are the compiled physical quantity at a glance with respect to their symbols, their formulas, their dimensional formulas, as well as their units. And at last but not least, these are some physical quantity related to optics. So in this way we have completed the dimensional analysis. So we have completed dimensional analysis and its application. Children, there are main three applications of dimensional analysis, and you are supposed to remember the applications of dimensional analysis as well as what are the limitations of dimensional analysis that you are supposed to memorize. Now this is the time for today's home assignment. Today you are supposed to do number 1, uses of dimensional analysis, number 2, limitations of dimensional analysis, and then after make the table containing all physical quantities, its dimensional formula and its unit taught in this chapter. So in this way this chapter now has been completed. Now in next class we will discuss some exercise question related to this chapter. So thank you very much, and God bless you all.